Hi again. I thought I would do a video on makeup no buys and shopping your stash and sort of trying to watch how much makeup you're buying, if that makes sense. Oh, and I should apologize right off the bat. I actually have hives right now. That sounds really gross, but I've only ever had hives a couple times before in my life, and it was due to stress. And just this week, a friend of mine from school passed away. She had brain cancer. So it's been a tough week. So I apologize. I'll try not to scratch. Hopefully it's not even visible in the camera, but whatever. But anyway, so as for makeup no buys, well, let me back up. I was a tomboy for most of my life. I was the only girl with a bunch of older brothers and their friends who just were let's just say I feel bad for my mom. My mom, because I was the only girl, I think she really wanted a girly girl, and she wanted me to wear dresses and bows and have pretty hair, blah 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 blah. And my brothers, when my mom would dress me as such, my brothers and their friends would tease me mercilessly. They were so mean. They would laugh, and I was just like, oh my gosh, get this off me, Mom. I don't want to wear a dress. And so I was such a tomboy. So makeup, I didn't even care about makeup for most of my life. And then once I got into high school, I slowly started becoming more girly, probably when I was like 15 or 16. But that was more like clothes wise. Clothes are probably more of a weakness, or definitely more of a weakness for me than makeup is. But really for makeup, I would usually just like do eyeliner and mascara, maybe eyeshadow, and some like tinted lip. What did I wear? Bonnie Bell lip smackers. I loved those. Like, they were just my favorite for like 10 years probably. And that was it. I had breakouts, I had acne. I did not have good skin. And so for me, I never wanted to put a bunch of makeup on my face because I didn't want to clog my pores anymore. I didn't want to break out even worse. So I hardly ever wore foundation or powder or anything like that, which I'm glad for now. Because I know some people, they just really want to cover it up. And really, looking back, my acne was not that bad. It's mostly hormones. And I even still get breakouts to this day, but not like, I was overly self-conscious about it. But because of that, I hardly wore makeup. And then even in my, as I got into my 20s, I started to get, a little bit more into makeup. I was totally clueless as to what I should wear, what colors and blah, 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 as far as makeup was concerned. And I had a friend, a friend who went to cosmetology school, a friend who went to school for fashion merchandising, and she took a class, some kind of class, where I remember she had this big book on like makeup looks for different skin tones, hair colors, eye colors, and I was like reading it like, oh my gosh, this is really helpful, and it kind of showed me certain basic things that I should have. And so over time I slowly got more into it, and then I ended up just really, from YouTube, just really enjoying how to playing around with it and just getting creative. The funny thing about me is, on the one hand, I cannot stand consumerism, materialism, conformity. Part of me is just like, ugh, like just awful. It makes me sick. But somehow I also really like nice things. It's so insane that there's these two completely different things can exist within one person, but I'm being real, and that probably sounds insane and weird, but it's true. I like to have nice things in my home. I like to feel like I look pretty. I want to feel good about the way I look. All those creature comforts, candles and good food and wine or whatever. So for me, it's always been a struggle for lots of different things, just to kind of maintain that balance of, you know, not being too much of a consumer and but then also not being too hard on myself and being okay with allowing myself some of those things. So, and what I used to do, I used to be kind of like go either way one direction or way the other. Well, at first it was like, okay, I'm just not gonna buy very much at a time. Only when I go buy one or two things. But then what happened with me with that was I was making trips all the time to buy one or two things. Oh, I'm going to the drugstore, let me just grab a nail polish or a lipstick. Oh, I'm going to the mall, I'll just like swing in a Mac real quick and grab something. And I just ended up like starting to gather a lot of things, and I was noticing that, so I said to myself, okay, I've got to switch this up somehow. Then I kind of try to no buy. I only let myself buy makeup like once a season, okay, so quarterly. And that didn't really work for me either, because it ended up creating this feast or famine mentality where I would just have this ongoing list of all these things I wanted to buy. And then like when that next season hit or that time of year came when I could buy, I would just buy a bunch of stuff. And that didn't really feel good either, because when you buy a lot at one time, at least for me, I don't end up even really trying all of it. You know, you focus on the things that you really love, and the rest of the stuff ends up kind of getting shoved to the back of the drawer or whatever. And for me, that's just not practical. I mean, what is the point of buying all this makeup, whether it's drugstore or high-end, if you're not even going to use it? I mean, to me, that's just dumb. So I had to, again, go, okay, what do I do? Where can I find a middle ground here? And so I really did a lot of thinking and praying about it. And for me, what I've been, I think, successful with is I allow myself 12 makeup products a year that I can buy. And that's a weird, probably sounds like a weird number, but like it basically allows me to go and pick something up about once a month if I want. But that doesn't include if I get gift cards or birthday money or anything like that, gifts. I can have more than that, and I don't count those as part of the 12. And at first I was like, oh, am I being too hard on myself? I mean, because you gotta do foundation, you gotta do, you know, your eyeshadows, your mascaras, and blah, 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 blah. Then I said, you know what, no. I get tons of, I have so many mascaras I've gotten for free, either just in sample boxes or like they came with a palette or something I purchased. I mean, I have a bunch so that I can go through, and I really should before they dry out or whatever. For me, that's been really good. It allows me just, you know, when I'm starting to feel that, you know, itch or, oh, that looks nice, or a collection comes out, I'm like, okay, what is one thing? I don't need to buy the whole collection. That's stupid. I know I personally wouldn't use it all. And to me, it just, again, I don't ever want to be someone who has a gigantic makeup collection. It's just a waste. And again, just too much, you know, just too much buying, too much consuming. What else I think has helped is just, you know, the more I find out about the ingredients in makeup and personal care products, you know, how bad and toxic the ingredients are, it makes it easier, because there were so many things that I purchased that I loved that I found out were really highly toxic. They just had terrible scores when you would look them up on those databases like Skin Deep and Good Guide. So, and I was like, oh, that was a waste of money. And I just, not that everything I own is completely, you know, vegan, natural, 100% organic, but I've made a lot of changes. That sits well with my spirit as far as my conviction goes. Now, I know everybody's different. Everybody's gonna have their own conviction, and you might be somebody who's like, hey, you know what? I could stop buying makeup tomorrow and it would be no big deal, or I can only go and buy one, or I can say, hey, I have $20 and set my limit there. That's awesome. That's great. I'm not doing this to say you have to do it the way I'm doing it. I'm just doing it to kind of give people more ideas for how to kind of manage makeup spending or anything. Like, I don't just do it on makeup. I do it with clothes. I do it with like Bath and Body Works candles, Lush products, like certain things that I know if I'm not careful, I will just like want to buy everything. I set limits for myself, and no joke, oh, it's gonna sound weird, I actually even like wrote it down and signed my name because not everybody needs to do this, of course, but for me, like if I write it down, I can't go, oh, what did I say? Oh, I think I can maybe have more. I think it was 1 or 2 things. I can't go back and change it. And then also, when I sign my name, if I put my name down, if I give my word, I feel like I gotta keep my word. I want to keep my word. And so that helps me so that I don't budge. And I don't say I have to, you know, only buy 1 thing a month. It's just however it works out. So 12 products a year. I don't feel like I have to own, hello puppy dog, you know, products from every brand, or, you know, upload haul videos every 2 seconds. I mean, I like watching hauls, but I worry that I'm like, again, just adding to that consumerism, like, oh, if I put that out there, I'm gonna make all these people wanna spend all this money, and what if the products that I hauled I don't even like very much, and then I feel bad that people went out and bought it. Hello, overthink much? Yeah, that's me. If you're doing something like this, either a no buy or trying to limit how much you do buy, please leave me a comment or below, or message me and let me know how it's going. I like watching videos like this because it kind of encourages me, it gives me a boost if I'm ever like bumming out about not being able to, you know, buy something. For me, I kind of have to keep kind of rigid about it. If I give myself too much wiggle room, I will like wiggle right out of there and go back to buying too much. The last thing I want is like to develop a shopping addiction or anything like that. And for me, I would never want to spend more than what is financially responsible, just because for me, it wouldn't even be fun. Like, I wouldn't even enjoy it if I was like going into debt on a credit card to buy makeup. Like, I wouldn't even enjoy the makeup. I would be like stressed out about getting that credit card paid off. And I think I've said about all I can say about this. I feel like I'm like, my eyes are like all over as I'm like trying to think about what I'm gonna say. I'm sorry if I haven't been staring at the camera, looking into the camera. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you're feeling it, and I will hopefully talk to you soon. Take care, be blessed, and take care of one another. Bye.